SAFRL, feel the speed, the thrill, yeah. High octane drama can't get off fill. Engines roaring loud, heartbeats on the rise. On NFR, see the sparks in our eyes. Racing through the night, chasing every turn. On NFR, adrenaline we burn. Pit stops and fast cars, it's a wild ride. NFR, in our veins we can't hide. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. Every lap a story, every driver's dream. On NFR, racing's the supreme. Checker flags waving, champions arise. NFR brings the glory to our eyes. NFR, where the legends are born. Speeding past the limits, engines reborn. In the fast lane, every second counts. NFR, the thrill always mounts. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. NFR with the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR's lane, every second counts. NFR, the thrill always mounts. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. You move to NFR, feel the speed, the speed.
Well, gather round, folks, let me spin you a tale about a race car driver, George Russell by name. He's quick on the track, but don't get too excited, cause when it comes to greatness, well, he's not quite knighted. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. He's got the helmet, he's got the car, but when it comes to win, he's not quite up to par. He's got the look like Woody with a cowboy hat, but when he's in the pit, you'll see him shed a tear stack. Now don't get me wrong, he's got some skill, but when you're talking about the best, he's not in that mill. He'll race you hard, give you quite the fright, but in the end, he's more known for his tears at night. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. So here's to George, with his heart on his sleeve. In the world of Formula One, he's got a lot to achieve. He might not be the champ, but he sure is fun. So let's give a cheer for George, our Woody on the run. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. So here's to George, with his heart on his sleeve. In the world of Formula One, he's got a lot to achieve. He might not be the champ, but he sure is fun. So let's give a cheer for George, our Woody on the run.
NFR, it's time to go. Feel the speed, let it flow. Racing hearts, watch them glow. Turn it up, start the show. NFR, feel the heat. Fast and fierce, never beats. Engines roar, can't stay off seats. Catch the thrill, it's so sweet. NFR, NFR, drama high, stars afar. Round the track like a shooting star. Feel the rush, NFR. Lap by lap, watch them spin. Victory's close, who will win? In our heads, the engine's din. NFR, let's begin. NFR, lights are green. Zooming fast, sick machine. Every twist, every scene. Catch the action on your screen. NFR, NFR, yeah. Drama high, stars afar. Round the track like a shooting star. Feel the rush, NFR. Lap by lap, watch them spin. Victory's close, who will win? In our heads, the engine's din. NFR, let's begin.
In the quiet lanes of Silverstone town, folks are whispering about a boy falling down. Got a seat from his daddy, money's the king. Driving that Williams ain't like riding free. Tires spin, engines roar, but the podium's far. His wheels hit the gravel, now there's damage to the car. Got the world at his feet, yet he fumbles the lead. His dreams race away, but he's not in the speed. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name that can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Now he's got his own team with a famous name. Aston Martin's the brand, but it's still the same shame. Every corner, every turn, the crashes unfold. Dreams wrapped in carbon fiber, truth left untold. Paddock folks shake their heads with a sigh as the green car spins and the hopes run dry. No matter the funds, it's a harsh game of pain. $1 million toys can't shelter the rain. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name that can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name that can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. shooting star. The engines roar, the tires scream, fast as lightning, it's the dream. Speed and drama, every turn on NFR, the rubber burns. Feel the thrill of every bend, where the champions transcend. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, only friend. Not Fernando calls the play on NFR every race day. Commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, only friend. Not Fernando calls the play on NFR race day. Commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, only friend. Deaf queen, the top supporter, see in the crowd where speed is keen. NFR, the place to be. Join the race, watch and see. Chasing dreams under pressure, lost in the crowd. Corner two shots spun out wide and free. Championship slipped like sand into the sea. On the chicane, caught him slow on the twist. A second's hesitation, victory missed. Green spot, he slid off the track. Fans gasping as the sky turned black. Pressure breakdown, Lando running wild. Back speeds by with the champion smile. Mistakes piling up, dreams in the rear. Pressure breakdown, drowning the fear. Pressure breakdown, Lando running wild. Max speeds by with the champion smile. Mistakes piling up, dreams in the rear. Pressure breakdown, drowning the fear. Mechanics fumbling in the pit lane's glare. Leaderboard slipping like oil on the floor. Lando's hopes falling, can't take anymore. Max takes the lead with a grin so bright. Lando's in shadows, can't find the light. Wheel to wheel, but he's losing grip. Champions rise as dreams start to slip. One last race, the engines scream, hoping for a miracle, grasping at the dream. Final lap and there's no more to give. Lessons in the losses, that's how we live. Pressure breakdown and a running wild. Max speeds by with the champion smile. Mistakes piling up, dreams in the rear. Pressure breakdown, drowning the fear. Pressure breakdown, Lando running wild. Max speeds by with the champion smile. Mistakes piling up, dreams in the rear. Pressure breakdown, drowning the fear. Pressure breakdown, drowning the fear. Pressure breakdown, drowning the fear.
Feel the speed, the thrill, yeah. High octane drama can get our fill. Engines roaring loud, heartbeats on the rise. On NFR, see the sparks in our eyes. Racing through the night, chasing every turn. On NFR, adrenaline we burn. Pit stops and fast cars, it's a wild ride. NFR, in our veins we can't hide. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. Yeah. Every lap a story, every driver's dream. On NFR, racing's the supreme. Checkered flags waving, champions arise. NFR brings the glory to our eyes. NFR, where the legends are born. Speeding past the limits, engines reborn. In the fast lane, every second counts. NFR, the thrill always mounts. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. NFR with the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR's lane, every second counts. NFR, the thrill always mounts. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. You move to NFR, feel the speed.
Well, gather round, folks, let me spin you a tale about a race car driver, George Russell by name. He's quick on the track, but don't get too excited, 'cause when it comes to greatness, well, he's not quite knighted. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. He's got the helmet, he's got the car, but when it comes to win, he's not quite up to par. He's got the look like Woody with a cowboy hat, but when he's in the pit, you'll see him shed a tear stack. Now don't get me wrong, he's got some skill, but when you're talking about the best, he's not in that mill. He'll race you hard, give you quite the fright, but in the end, he's more known for his tears at night. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. So here's to George, with his heart on his sleeve. In the world of Formula One, he's got a lot to achieve. He might not be the champ, but he sure is fun. So let's give a cheer for George, our Woody on the run. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. So here's to George, with his heart on his sleeve. In the world of Formula One, he's got a lot to achieve. He might not be the champ, but he sure is fun. So let's give a cheer for George, our Woody on the run.
sweet. NFR. NFR. Drama high, stars afar. Round the track like a shooting star. Feel the rush. NFR. Lap by lap, watch them spin. Go, victory's close. Who will win? In our heads, the engine's din. NFR, let's begin. NFR, lights are green. Zooming fast, slick machine. Every twist, every scene. Catch the action on your screen. NFR. NFR. Yeah. Drama high, stars afar. Round the track like a shooting star. Feel the rush. NFR. Lap by lap, watch them spin. Go, victory's close. Who will win? In our heads, the engine's din. NFR, let's begin.
In the quiet lanes of Silverstone town, folks are whispering about a boy falling down. Got a seat from his daddy, money's the king. Driving that Williams ain't like riding free. Tires spin, engines roar, but the podium's far. His wheels hit the gravel, now there's damage to the car. Got the world at his feet, yet he fumbles the lead. His dreams race away, but he's not in the speed. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name that can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Now he's got his own team with a famous name. Aston Martin's the brand, but it's still the same shame. Every corner, every turn, the crashes unfold. Dreams wrapped in carbon fiber, truth left untold. Paddock folks shake their heads with a sigh as the green car spins and the hopes run dry. No matter the funds, it's a harsh game of pain. $1 million toys can't shelter the rain. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name but can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name but can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Like a shooting star, the engines roar, the tires scream. Fast as lightning, it's a dream. Speed and drama, every turn on NFR, the rubber burns. Feel the thrill of every bend, where the champions trend.
Ooh.
In a visit to the aquarium, National Gallery, or the Melbourne Cricket Ground, which hosts a wide variety of events from cricket, Aussie rules football and rugby.
Now that's interesting. Rain in quali.
The capital of the state of Victoria, located in southeastern Australia. As well as being known for hosting F1 annually, Melbourne also has a thriving live music scene. Lewis Hamilton has racked up some impressive achievements in his career. Just a few of these include having over 100 wins, over 100 pole positions, and the most wins at a driver's own GP. Let's not forget Hamilton equalled Schumacher's 7 drivers' championships back in 2020.
Rain to stay for 20 minutes, says Quattro in the chat. Just gonna get Will in. There's your invite. This is going to be an interesting one. We don't often see races around this track in wet conditions. Around the Albert Park, of course, circulating a lake. And that rain coming down from the skies. A lot of people cheering for Wheeze in the chat.
Oh, look at that! I was muted. I was muted. Fantastic. So I was saying a lot of.
I was about to say I can't hear you because
I was saying
I could see you. I could see you.
I was like, no, I was
in the bottom.
No, I was talking, and I was like, okay, this guy's just talking over me. But I was saying that
maybe it's gone also.
No, I was saying in the rain, especially at this circuit, a lot of drivers, a lot of people, a lot of spectators forget that this is a street circuit. And in some places, if you come off on the wrong part of the circuit, it's pretty unforgiving. In some places, the barriers are very close. In other places, there is a bit of runoff. But if you make a mistake in the wrong place, you don't get a second chance. Apparently, 75% of this track is accessible to traffic.
Ooh, there's a stat for you.
You can
Didn't find that one on Google.
You can drive around approximately 75% of this circuit, and then the paddock and pit area is blocked off to street cars. That is inaccessible to the public.
Do you count the car park as well through turn 4? Surely not.
No lap times yet. We do have a few drivers on out laps. We've already got a few drivers on wet laps. This was the first driver out of the pits. That's why he's lighting up the track in purple. This is Mr. Beef in the RB. Of course, a lot of these names.
Incoming chat in Discord.
A lot of people saying.
Prediction. In the Discord saying incoming Jacob Pole, of course, the championship leader. Loves the wet, apparently.
A lot of people in the comments saying Wheeze. It's gonna be an interesting qualifying session, and I think the rain would have just mixed things up a little bit. So the guys, if they do a little bit of extra practice before the race, and a lot of them do that practice in the wet. Ollie goes quickest.
Ollie to the top.
Well, that is Lazy in the Ferrari. Lazy. So Lazy goes off into P2. The time so far 25.5, 25.8, 25.9. And then things are a little spread out, 27, 28. These just the initial laps. Guys will get more and more used to the conditions as the session goes on, and they'll get more comfortable and more confident in these conditions. They'll know what those tyres will do. I just expect these lap times to come down as the session goes on. Of course, we didn't hear anything about the rain getting worse. We only heard about it 20 minutes. It's the entire length of quali. can't hear Apollo. I do think I heard a cell phone ring, so hopefully he'll be back. Jacob has gone quickest in the meantime. Kevin into P2 in the McLaren. Ollie in P3. Weeze has set a lap time, 25.8.
Apologies for that.
Up into P4. Here we go. Apollo's back. I think he got a phone call. I think I heard a phone ring ever so briefly.
It was my dad, so I thought I'd better answer it.
Lazy
But
has
all good
done
now.
his lap and returned to the pits. A lot of drivers now doing that initial lap, returning to the pits, looking for that second run.
It's an interesting call, because even in F1 sim racing or F1 esports, it's just rebranded to F1 sim racing these days, but F1 esports drivers, even they go out for multiple runs in a row. So could we see anyone going for that strategy?
Of course, I'm new to HRA, but over in the South African leagues I commentate on, SAFRL and SKR, it's actually very common to see in qualifying some of the drivers, they'll just put in 5 or 6 laps worth of fuel, put on a set of intermediates and basically do 2/3 of qualifying on that set. They just go round and round and round. So I think for some drivers it just starts to feel better. You just want to spend a few laps out on the track rather than just that. So easy to make a mistake anywhere on one wet lap. Gonna get a few.
Indeed, as predictions are currently right. Jacob in P1 as it stands, around halfway through the session.
This is the Mercedes driver.
Oh.
What is this? Tronzik. He's one of the drivers.
Oh, in
3 laps on
in
those
Tronzik,
intermediates.
very OG of the league.
You can see he's done 3
A
laps on
solid
those intermediates.
midfield driver as well. Yeah.
Those are one of those
Yeah,
drivers
just
that's
getting the times in.
Jacob,
Jacob, look at that from Jacob. That is a
24.4.
scorching time from the Alpine.
7/10 clear
He's
of the
on
field.
pole by 7 tenths of a second as it stands.
Kevin
I'll
pulls
say
it
just
a little
a
closer. Kevin 25.1, so 6/10 now, but it's still a big dent to make in your time.
ridiculous.
You know, if you're going out and you know you need to make 1 or 2 tenths, you know you've got something in your pocket, but suddenly when it's half a second, well, I thought the last one was pretty quick. The Aston Martin driver, what name is that in P3?
Maslin.
Maslin.
Oh, just Maz. One of our 2-time champions. I know I said I'd never bring it up again, but seeing as he's shuffled into out of a full-time seat, George Plaster, the other Aston Martin, before stepping down to reserve. They had a championship finale where it was Maz overturned a 20-point deficit in the last round to win the race. That was probably my most favourite race to commentate on.
Have a look
And
at the,
I nearly blew out my voice at the very end, but
have a look at the Red Bull.
yeah,
Weeze, apparently
that's how
P6.
Maz got his second title.
Over the line, he was fastest in sector 2. See what he does over the line. It's good enough for P2. Still a 125.0.
There we go. Maz cuts the gap to Jacob out front. It is still an incredible time to be that high up.
And just as I was about to say, Jacob's still the only driver in the 24s. Boom. Times will only come down.
Oh yeah. Maz, back when he was winning his championships, he'll be first to admit he was never a pacey driver. He was always on the back foot, it seemed, for most of the season. But it's just consistency. He would make it work. Suffered a spin last time out at Spain, hit the invisible bump and went for a ride. Nothing he could do there, but an incredibly consistent driver, but now it's flipped. He has his issues with consistency, but is incredibly, incredibly quick.
Consistency is key in motor racing over a season. South Africa only has one Formula One world champion, and that was Jody Scheckter. And the year he won his championship, he only won one race. He was
Reminds
just
me of
constantly on
Niki
the podium.
Lauda's, I want to say Niki Lauda's 83 season, where he beat out his teammate by half a point or a point or something stupid like that. Beat out Prost. And that season he didn't get a single pole position in what was the most dominant car on the grid at that point.
Ooh, Haas getting out of shape there. That's the end of his lap.
Beat Carano. Pushing to the limits. Of course, debut season in league racing in general for the Haas driver. So, well, debut technically last season, but missed out most of it. So, very quick driver on his day, but he's got a lot of work to do from 10th.
Reese is usually around the comment section somewhere, so Reese, if you're in the pits, let me know. Is there going to be any sort of rain in the race? Obviously the drivers have access to the weather, but for some reason EA thinks commentators shouldn't have weather. You can only go by what
I think it's a
on
bit
screen.
silly.
It's a bit silly. We should have a weather screen at least. Maybe one or two
Even in
extra camera angles.
F1 sim racing, I believe it's only Matt Gallagher who has access to the weather. All the other commentators just have to watch the view and guess, which it does make it nice, but at the same time it would be nice to know what we're expecting, because if it's wet dry for the race, we could see massive setup differences. You know, Berry, who's in last place, could be there because just simply he's got a wet setup on. So come the race, or dry setup, so come the race, it'll absolutely storm it. Or you get those running a wet setup here, so they look incredibly fast, and then get to the race and they're nowhere.
We're now riding with Jacob. He's just gone much quicker in sector 2 than his previous run. That was 3/10 up in sector 2, so let's see if he can hold it all together in sector 3. Currently his best is a 24.4, and it's just been beaten by Kevin, 24.3. So 10th in it now on the front row. And this
There
is
he
the
comes
Alpine.
to the line.
He
How
has
much
gone
of an
quicker.
improvement is it? There's your answer. Wow. That
We were
is
talking about the
ridiculous.
24s.
Passed it by over half a second at the top of Division 1. Those are gaps that are just so rare to see, especially in the hyper-competitive Div 1 that we normally have these days. It is looking all Jacob at the moment out front.
I think he just wanted to be alone. He was alone in the 24s, and then the 24s started getting a little bit more populated. He said, well, I'm going over to the 23s then. The drivers are just more confident in the conditions as they go on, and as I say that, we're riding with Weeze and we're watching the back end of that Red Bull doing all sorts of things it shouldn't be. Luckily for him, he keeps it on the tarmac. I think he did get a wheel on the grass briefly. Currently P5 with a 25.0.
Sector 2 split here. How's it looking for Weeze? He's up 3/10, heading through the very tricky section. Well, how on earth is that not invalid through there? Perfect over the track limits. He'll get a bit of a tow here from the Mercedes in front, but that just about get out of the way, avoids the dirty air, and now it's just about hooking up the slowest part of the track. Very tricky left-hander, and it's all about the traction zone here, seeing how far you can push it out to the curb, all over it. Let's see what he can do here.
Takes over the line, good enough for E2. 24.3, it would have been good enough for pole a lap ago. But Jacob has since taken those times into the 23s. gauntlet has been thrown to everyone in the field. Take pole away from him. You know, he said it. Damn impressive time.
We're looking very near the end of the session. Expect to start seeing, 2 minutes 30 on the clock. Expect to start seeing every single car in the pits swiftly make their way out of it. It is going to be traffic paradise with people trying to get some sort of gap to set their lap.
A lot of cars now in the pits. We've got Weeds out on circuit, but he's returning unless he might be doing multiple laps. But if he comes into the pits now, he's not going to get another run.
It looks like he's treating his tyres very carefully. He could be doing the F1 Esports strat of push again, which would mean the next lap will be his final attempt. Well, if he's quick enough here, no, he won't be quick enough to get to the line in time. Now making himself some space to the Red Bull in front of him on track. Is it a Red Bull or whoever it is in front of him on track? The RB of Beefy. Punches it out the last corner. Quattro saying his setup isn't the best in the wet, but manageable. Not too sure how you can call P3 manageable. That is certainly a competitive time if he's having setup problems.
For a slow driver like me, I always find it quite entertaining when these guys are crying about a third place, and I'm like, oh, how I wish for a third place. Using all of the curb on the outside, almost invalidated there, right on the edge of things. How's the plane looking? Does it look any lighter? It looks the same to me.
I did see the sun poking through the clouds a minute or two ago as we were watching Weeze's previous flying lap. Oh, that's too much on the curb, invalidates, but because he backed off, he's left it too long and he's not got the time to get another lap on the board. If he hadn't have built that gap, he would be able to go again here, but it will be maximum of P2 for the South African.
Of course, that will be Kevin. Doesn't have anything to say about it. He's currently in P3 and on a lap. His current best 24.3. Then we got Mr. Beef 24.4. A lot more drivers got into those 24s, but Jacob, the only one in the 23s.
Had a retirement. He's gone off. Oh, Kevin's gone off. That was a damn good job to keep that. Out.
Lazy, up into P2.
Lazy Stairs, one of who we call sort of the feistiest driver of this division. He doesn't care about strategy or about racing to get in a certain place for strategy. Lazy, if he's got a car in front of him, he's going to pass it. If he's got a car behind, they are not getting past. That is the Lazy Stairs rule.
Jacob is 2 tenths up. Jacob is 2 tenths up in sector 2. Let's see what he can do in sector 3. It's probably the most difficult part of the racetrack, really, to just hold everything together, that you can lose your entire lap if you just get that sector 3 wrong.
Hopefully it's down. The crazy thing is, Jacob doesn't even have to set this time. Kicks the back end out of the final corner. It'll be pole for Jacob, but by how much? There's your answer.
23.4. 23.4. 6 tenths.
Half a second he's on pole by. That is the largest pole margin we've had this season. By quite a way. Ridiculous of Jacob.
Looking for anyone else out on track. There's no one else out on track. Everyone's got the checkered flag, or they're sitting in the pits. So I believe that is the end of qualifying for round 3.
What qualifying it's been.
Now the question turns to the race. Are we going to see any of this? Are we going to see any rain, or is it going to be a bone dry race?
As a reminder as well to any drivers watching, do not ready up until given the signal in the Discord. We don't want another lobby restart.
Oh, that's correct. Yesterday we had a An awfully quick start. Very nice time
As
by the Ferrari driver at the end. We weren't really focusing too much on Lazy. At least I wasn't focusing too much on the Ferrari. And came out of nowhere, took that front row spot. You can go through the
indeed,
results.
I'm hearing people say it's raining in the race, but for now, rainy day in qualifying, but not a bad result for Jacob. On pole by half a second from Lazy, who's always there or thereabouts and punches his name into second. Maz gets third. Wheeze as well, looking to put a charge up to Jacob and a challenge in the championship. Only fourth, which is quite mad to say only fourth for Wheeze, but it'll be interesting to see what he can do in the race and the setups for everyone else in the field. What will they be able to do? Will they have gone wet or dry setups as we look to see what the weather is here? Most people saying it's rain and it's dry.
Well, it's dry.
So will we see a dry to wet qualifying then?
Could be, yeah, it could be a very interesting scenario if we start off like this and then the rain starts to fall around about lap 5, lap 10, whenever the case is. If it falls out of that pit window, it really throws the race. It mixes things up. And of course, if we do have those sort of conditions, safety cars are always a strong possibility.
Oh, go on, spoil the weather for us, Kevin. We need to know. It's killing us.
We need this information. Imagine withholding weather information on the on F1 TV. That commentators just didn't know
Yeah.
what was going on.
They're like, why are people pitting for Inters? Oh, it's raining.
Might add a fun, interesting element to
Completely
commentary.
dry race. Oh dear. Oh dearie me. So we've got people out there on wet setups, including, if I'm right, in the Discord, Maz has got a wet setup on. Tesco saying it's said it was a wet race. So does Jacob. So them two most likely on a wet setup. You've got Josh is on a wet setup. It's going to be interesting. Does seem like there's a difference in setups, and EA once again hasn't coded their game well enough to tell people the correct weather. Some people genuinely were told it was a wet race, but oh well.
See, while we have a slight delay, want to say thank you to everybody who's watching. We've got quite a few viewers here. We've got some of the regulars, Skull, Death Queen, we've got Nas and Ubuntu. We've also got some new names. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. I hope you're enjoying the broadcast. We're going to be getting underway shortly. And of course, if it's your first visit, remember to subscribe if you like what you're watching. We also stream on Sundays and Tuesdays, but those are South African leagues. But you can see more of Wheeze, and it's free because that's where, well, that's where I met them.
Indeed, very, very good drivers, and it's always a pleasure to watch them in any league because them two know how to race, most certainly. Sadly, Free not in attendance today, but Wee's flying the flag, metaphorically and literally, for South Africa in this league, and pushing and gunning for a championship in his debut season. Same said, though, for Jacob. I think I'd like to see some of the OGs like Maz get their name into that championship.
I too fly the South African flag, but I'm here for vocal
Ah,
support.
yes. Of course.
I'm just here to support
Same
locally. I don't think Team South
same
Africa
for,
needs my driving talents.
You never know. You never know.
Yeah, I
Say,
don't think they
if
need that.
Lance Shaw gets sacked out of Aston Martin in the safety car, you never know.
Well, if you want to have a interesting stat, last year, drivers that cost their team the most amount of money, well, Lance Stroll was only number 4 on that list. Number 1
Oh wow.
went the way of Sergio Perez. 5 red lights, and when they go out, we get underway. It's going to be Alpine versus Ferrari
Good
into
start
turn
for
1.
Lazy.
And the Ferrari,
Fake.
what a launch!
But watch him here. Watch Jacob. He's all over the back of the Ferrari. The prancing horse, very much the defending horse at the moment. I said Lazy. If he sees a car in front of him, he will pass. If he sees a car behind, he will not let it pass. And he now will clutch onto this, hoping that Jacob's gambled for a dry setup. Maz, we know, is on a wet setup. And we know that Josh is also on a wet setup in the Sauber.
They're riding with Lazy, we're looking back from his rear wing. And now side by side, the Alpine, Jacob into the lead. He was in P1 throughout qualifying. And wants the P1 back to his lane. And wasting time getting that lead back. But as we saw last night, 4 DRS zones on the circuit. He's not able to break that 1 second barrier. He's just gonna tow that Ferrari around.
Indeed, and as of 2024, I believe, yellow flags in transit has gone off. VSC deployed, race neutralized. As we've seen, and the rules changed now. It's no longer end of the 3rd lap, or end of the 2nd lap technically. It is end of the 1st lap, so lap 2 is when DRS is enabled and not lap 3.
Wait just a little longer for that DRS because before it could become active, we've got a virtual safety car, first of the day. Fortunately for the
Indeed,
drivers.
there we go, DRS is enabled and we get back to green flag racing. Very short VSC, no one got caught out in terms of drive-throughs. No one got caught out in terms of positions, very clean VSC. Oh, wide for Kevin. Wide for Kevin, Weeze might capitalise now.
Riding there with Weeze, Red Bull versus McLaren. Oh, that looks awfully similar to every time I see a McLaren and a Red Bull going wheel to wheel, I just remember Austria last year.
Oh dear. Yeah, not the best of days.
And it was a really confusing time for me because I'm a Max fan, but I really like Lando, so I didn't know how to feel about that incident.
Weeze had a little jink, had a little look. Yeah, as much as Max's antics on track aren't agreeable for most, myself included, is an incredible driver, and to be honest, I've started to back him lately. When you look back and see him as a driver, he just races to the rule book. Whatever the rule book says, he will do to the limit, and that is why he is a 4-time world champion. We've got Maz, a 2-time champion, our only one left on the grid. Fighting it out with Lazy here, but he has that wet setup on, so his straight line speed is going to be absolutely cooked, as will be his tyre pressures here if you didn't change them. Swiftly, them hard tyres will start to overheat.
Let's just bring up some extra info on your screens.
Medium and hard compound as well.
It's a good mixture between mediums and hards, no sign of the soft compound. So obviously nobody having much.
Maz is leader of the hard compound runners as it stands. Top 2 both on that medium compound. That's going to bode for an interesting one as Jacob is starting to steadily creep away here, lap by lap.
Sometimes what happens here in Australia, you start with the softer compound, hoping to get that better start and just maybe pull away from the rest of the field in that opening stint of the race. But with those 4 DRS zones, you're just not able to get away from the field regardless of that softer compound. Because even if you're 3 or 4 tenths faster than the car behind you, you're towing him around and neutralizing that advantage.
Pointing further down.
So the hard runners
into turn 1.
Hard runners are just going to stay with the medium runners, and when the medium runners inevitably pit,
The hard runners will have been dragged along. It is it's why drivers like Jarno Mays, quite frankly, became esports champions, because Jarno might not have the quickest pace out of anyone, but oh, here comes Maz, not wanting to stick with, but instead lead the pack of medium runners that he is currently fighting at the front. Recognises that he's set up, giving pace. Ooh, Lazy's been absolutely done there by Kevin. Has Lazy got some sort of damage here? Or has he overheated his tyres? He is dropping back into the clutches of everyone now. Wheeze will be all over him.
Just trying to get a better look. As I try and have a better look, go to Helicam, there we go. Just had a front look at that Ferrari wing and it looks fine. No visible damage, maybe just, like you say, overheating the tyres or just a loss of momentum. And now the Red Bull lining him up. Very nicely done. Not only is this quick driving, this is really clean, respectable driving between all of these guys. It's fantastic to see, wheel to wheel, and I haven't seen hardly any contact.
Oh my gosh. I'm not sure if you caught it on stream, but there was a massive snap for Lazy. How he kept that on the black stuff, let alone out of the barrier there. Massive snap as Maz takes to the front.
Jacob and Maz just trading places for the time being, but now the hard runner is leading the race. How many laps do you reckon until these mediums fall off? Probably lap 12?
12, lap 13 around here, so pretty much halfway through the race. So that alternate strategy, whereas normally the medium runners would hit 7-8 laps earlier. Ooh, twitchy from the Aston Martin, not enjoying that wet setup in the slightest in terms of balance. In terms of position though, Maz, he might start running a wet setup everywhere if this result stands.
2 penalties at the rear of the field, and now a third one's just been added. So Mr. Beef, that's that Berry, and one of the horse drivers, Masquerade. He's up to 6 seconds already. The other 2 have 3 seconds apiece. Very early days to be in that penalty column. Some drivers, it even starts to affect the way they drive. When you know you're on 2 warnings, just
everyone
start to be a bit tentative.
When you get that first warning, as Jacob takes to the front, Kevin passes Maz as well, and Maz now will have to be on the defensive for Wheeze. This is the double DRS straight that I was talking about. Oh, contact! Kevin's half spun. Maz has hit him. Damage for Maz. Left end plate gone. Right end plate gone, sorry. So from the lead of the race, he's been done by the double DRS zone. Now we want the pit, but he can't get in there because Beefy Boy is on his right hand side. My word, from leading the race, caught out by that single detection point providing DRS for the next 2 straights. It put him down to 4th, and Kevin got half spun somewhere in an incident. And although it was a nice Papara and black, easy to see car as Maz, let Beefy Boy recognise the contact. That's his fault. That is for Maz.
Got a good view of his front wing, and that's definitely the right end plate. He's not going to be feeling too great, and he wasn't able to get into the pits, do an entire lap.
And at a track with this high speed, although will he try and stay out till around, well, he'd have to stay out till around lap 16, as he's dying around the place, getting out of people's way as it currently stands. Is he having a technical issue as well here?
Wheeze and the Alpine side by side yet again, and well, we didn't see what happened there on the stream. The cars luckily just ghosted when it looked like they were about to make contact. But Jacob leads the way, Wheeze P2, Kevin P3, Lazy still very much there. Top 8, is that the top 8? Yes, the top 8 all within DRS of each other.
These Maz pits and the tyres, knows that's the end of his days on the wet setup. Already struggling to compete and the one thing that was giving him an advantage, the grip on the wet setup, gone with that front wing damage. So, fine further back, Masquerade, Berry and Will having an almighty one for the lower points positions. Of course,
So
if
many
you're new to
battles.
HRA, 15 get points, you're on the MotoGP point system. There's fighting all over the place. Josh and Beefy have just swapped places. The lead has swapped again. All kicking off here. It's only lap 8. And there's, well, the top 8 is one DRS ring. Ooh, there's that.
Right now I'm just flicking through the field looking for battles, but there's battles everywhere.
It's
a
absolutely
long
everywhere.
stream of cars, so difficult to try and get every overtake or even pick up every position change in the
Will
timesheet.
gets past Berry as well. Yellow flags further back. Tesco's retired from the session.
Ooh,
Out on track. Full safety car deployed. Now
safety
we will
car
see.
deployed, lap 9 of 29. Surely the medium runners can
I
come in now
I
and
think
take
we'll see
those.
the medium runners come in.
Just remember, this
Because
is
what,
lap
4
9.
laps early? That's not too bad. Lap 13 to 16 was the estimate given to me on the first lap by the game, and it's only a couple laps early. We know the hard is a ridiculously durable tyre around. I believe our part is one of them.
Just a couple of laps early and
It's
one
about to call it Adelaide.
couple of laps early, and some of those laps will be done. You know, some of those laps will be done under safety cars, so you won't be wearing out that tyre. So they'd really be extending that tyre life by a lap or two.
Indeed, and not only then, but the time you gain under safety cars. Oh, drive through to very speeding under safety car. But yeah, the time you lose through what we call the tyre delta, so by offsetting your strategy by a couple laps and pitting under safety car, is much gained up by the fact that you can be 4 seconds off where you were on a fresh set of tyres. As indeed Jacob into the pits, Lazy into the pits, Kevin into the pits as well, going to try and make the medium go to the end on that. McLaren knows staying out is not a good option. Wheeze will take the safety car here, which means that everyone on the same lap as him can get up to racing pace, and he's going to be left out here a sitting duck.
Also, always say a safety car is great to bring the field back together, but this time the field was so close together. I mean, some of the teammates will have
Chaos
been.
at pit exit.
Some of the teammates will have
Lazy's,
both wanted to make
yeah,
use of a
Lazy's
pit
gone
stop
from
on the
net
same lap.
P3 to P8.
There were, I
What
think
on earth's happened to Lazy?
there were two teams there double stacked at the same time. Madness in the pits.
Always is under safety car. Always is. But if you brought the tyre graphic up for a second, you'd see that everyone in the field can now go to the end effectively on their tyres, barring Berry and Wheeze. So Wheeze has got to somehow make up a whole pit stop on the field, or sacrifice himself here, call it in now, and go to the end on a set of mediums. But that put him practically right at the back. He'd come out around P14 on them tyres, so would have quite a mission.
Field is not yet
to get to the end for this.
Field is not yet completely together. They haven't formed a queue just yet. So if he is going to make that pit stop, now is the time. If he's going to wait another lap, well, he's going to come out right at the back of that queue. And we've seen coming through the field can be quite complicated. Make the position and you lose it in 2 or 3 corners time.
Wheeze, the Red Bull, has fully committed to this strategy. He believes in what it has potential-wise. Maybe Berry's going to provide the buffer and stop the likes of Josh, Ollie and Beefy and the rest of them. Lazy out of position after an incident on pit exit. I saw him ghosted and dropping down the order. So at least he's got work to do. But it'll be in transit code we wait for. Of course, safety car mechanics are quite weird on this game. It's always been like this, but it won't come in unless it's near the end of the race or the last car has got to the back of the field. Which will be in transit as Tesco.
Notice it's got like a maximum of 3 laps, and if you haven't fought that queue by that 3rd lap, it sort of just comes in and leaves you behind. So
yes,
yeah, if it's taking too long to form a queue, eventually it will just say that's my 3 lap limit. I'm coming in.
It'll be end of the next lap, I'd say, and Transic's not going to catch now. It tends to come in at the 3rd sector split, or start a 3rd sector around there. Hungary here at shorter tracks like Austria and Monaco's. But sometimes the game does like to throw a curveball. That last car catching, I've seen it even through the penultimate corner at tracks like Australia actually, where someone's caught the safety car about now and then it comes in and it causes absolute havoc on restarts. But we'll see none of that because Intronsic is closing up and will be on the pack before the Sector 2, end of Sector 2, start of Sector 3 split.
As the drivers go into this 2nd stint of the race, gotta remember this restart is going to be so important. It's so easy to pick up damage on that restart. If you've just been handed a 2nd opportunity at this race, if things didn't go well in that 1st stint, the last thing you want to do is mess it up the 2nd time around. Make sure that start is a good one, get a good launch, don't try anything crazy.
And as well, something to mention here is, if you look at the cars like Jacob and Kevin, they're very mechanical inputs on the steering and throttle. That's because we are allowed to pause under safety car in this league, as it just allows the AI to warm the tyres up, as it's so difficult to get temperature in them without murdering them. But Wee's opting for the old-fashioned way of doing it, with the hard braking, hard accelerating and the weaving. But that does put a lot of strain on the tyres and doesn't work as well as pausing, so we might even see Jacob get him on the safety car restart as it's in this lap.
Safety car in this lap, then we'll be back underway. That'll be at the start of lap
someone
13.
In chat asking
what happened to Maz?
Maz, he had a wet setup on, was sticking with the pack, but Kevin half spun at the corner we're coming up to, turn 11, and Maz caught him, got damage, and realised his only advantage of the cornering speed was gone, and there was no way of bringing it back. So he retired in the pits. Tesco had an incident on track, which is the reason why we are under this safety car. And as the safety car is peeling towards the pit lane, Weeze now has control of the field. When does he go? Does he opt early?
Which leader decides when to go? Could be a no overtaking until that start finish line. But he could go right now, or he could wait right until that start finish line. It's a guessing game for everyone behind him.
Ah, he's gone. Absolutely gone. Oh, big snap of oversteer. Here comes Jacob.
That's how easy it is. You just don't get that optimal start car behind you. Gets the superior traction, but he's not going to be close enough into turn 1. He does tuck in really close. But the McLaren now attacking the Alpine.
To the outside, he's going to get boxed in here. Will he look to get the switch back, Kevin? Doesn't quite poke his nose on the outside. They're side by side between Josh and Berry. Josh already up past Berry. And Josh can now try and stick with this lead train. Look at that, 3 tenths separate, 2 tenths separate the top 3 as we head towards the first of the straights. No DRS yet, but these 3 do not care. It is Alpine, Red Bull and McLaren fighting it out with maybe a Sauber in there. Carl's going to like that. Sauber team principal in the chat watching on. As Josh on the charge, attacking, trying to gain up. This is going to be an exciting one. drivers who aren't normally at the front, like Josh and Ollie, are going to have their shot here.
Taking full advantage of
Contact.
That's as close as you're going to get without losing a front wing. Pretty sure there was contact between those two.
Yeah. Ferry has had an incident, or he's in the pits. Ferry in the pits. DRS enabled now. Kevin gets up past Wheeze. Jacob is gone out front. 9/10 is the gap. And without revealing too much, Jacob has the advantage in terms of ERS, so it's going to be tricky here.
Josh thought about a move. Josh thought about a move up the inside of Wheeze. Was able to hold on to it.
Quicker than Wheeze.
But for how much longer? Look at this.
He doesn't want to go too early. Now he can go. He's past the DRS detection. To the outside goes Josh, trying to get the run on the Red Bull.
It's a good position to be in when you're attacking with one eye on your mirrors. Trying to make up positions.
Oh my gosh, so close at the apex of turn 9.
Trying to make up positions all the while trying to defend positions. What happens in the races this close? Look at that, all the way down to P9. Everyone is within DRS. Very long DRS train. Jacob from Kevin from Josh. And another 3-second penalty going the way of Mr. B. Should be up to 6 seconds, I believe.
Is to mention, and was mentioned actually on the race stream yesterday, that this is one of those tracks where penalties can and normally do have a heavy decisive impact on the race results.
I'd say the biggest difference between tonight and last night is the gaps between the drivers were bigger last night. I think if you've got these sort of gaps, a 3-second penalty can push you down a good few spots. My laptop is completely muted, but every now and then I swear I can hear myself, and it's really annoying. Don't know where that sound is coming from.
Or it's putting your mic through your headset. Every now and then I'll hear myself speak.
Still Kevin from...
A weird one.
Kevin, Josh, no, Kevin, Jacob, and then Josh. I'm getting confused between the J's. Now it's McLaren out front.
This as well, Josh and Ollie, this is their debut race, Ollie's debut race. Josh has not got a single point on the board, let alone finish on the board. I don't believe he's entered a race yet, but he is listed as a full-time driver in the standings. So maybe 2 did not start his first time here, and he's currently in a podium position, an unlikely one with the wet setup on his car as well. Interesting to see if he can cling on, if his mediums can go the distance. A reminder this, although 3 or 4 laps of which were under the safety car, these mediums have got to go another 13 laps and make it to nearly 20 laps on a medium tyre that should last around 13 before it goes off peak.
Jacob goes back to
so
the
those
front.
hard tyre runners.
It's past Kevin for now.
Yeah.
Kevin back into P2, Josh P3, and Ollie. Actually, that's another name making its debut in F1 this year. Ollie Behrman for Haas. 5 rookies. Only 2 teams in F1 keeping their driver lineups.
Ridiculous, and considering this time last year in F1 we were looking at the first stationary lineup, or same lineup from all 10 teams or all the teams in F1 in its history, but that didn't happen, as sadly we saw Ricciardo dropped, and not so sadly we saw Logan Sargent drop mid-season, and of course Behrman reserving, and Magnussen having that race ban as well.
I might be biased, but I was sad about Ricardo. I wasn't that sad about Sargent. I actually enjoyed Colapinto's run there. Just lost it a little bit at the end.
If he didn't have that many crashes, he would have been given that RB seat. Oh, we're waffling. Here comes Kevin, takes the lead. And watch out, Jacob here for Josh, because no DRS for Jacob. DRS for Josh. He's in the slipstream. He's side by side with the poleman, the Alpine, and the Sauber. Josh very, very aggressively takes the inside and holds the position. Jacob survives that bout, keeps his second, which he knows he needs to keep here because there's a chance of Kevin running away. Yellow flags further back. Kairano's had an incident in the mix. It's off there for a second, but it settles down now.
Got 6 different manufacturers in the top 6 positions. It's something you see every day.
Incredible
from
stuff.
Jacob, Josh still in P3 and Ollie still sitting in a safe P4. Haven't seen him attack these 3. Seems happy to sit in P4 for now.
Of course, to mention, Jacob, although he's leading the championship, he hasn't won a race yet. 2 seconds in a row, so it will be his chance at his first win in HRA. Kevin's done it many a time. It's not going to be an easy one. Certainly not. Jacob's retaken the lead. Ollie's been got past Josh.
The top 4 remain the same. They just keep on switching positions. Not so long ago, it looked like the Sauber could be going for the lead. Now the Sauber down in P4. Ollie's got himself up into the top 3. McLaren and the Alpine.
Watch out for Bloomsy here. Don't count Bloomsy out the chance of a podium because he may be 4 seconds back. The season 10 Division 2 champion Bloomsy. Solid last season. This season he's been a little inconsistent up front because of the up in class, let's say, of the front. An increase in overall performance of the league. But I wouldn't count him out. On them hard. The mediums are going to drop off massively in their last 5 laps. Expect to see the medium runners around half a second to a second a lap slower once that tyre goes off.
Williams,
Now,
Sauber, and
hold out.
Josh up into P3. Gets back past Ollie. It's the continuous DRS. Continuous DRS around here. The updates made to the circuit in 2022, in my opinion, have much improved this circuit.
There's a race quality. I always say I enjoyed driving the old layout more, mainly because the old chicane of turns 9 and 10, and the chicane before it as well. I enjoyed how it flowed, but I must admit, it's more fun now to drive in terms of racing, and I'd rather enjoy the track for its racing than the track itself.
Jacob still leads the way out front. Kevin still in P2. Josh P3. Ollie P4. They've actually broken away. Remember, I said everyone in the top 7, top 8, whatever it was within DRS of each other. Now it's just that top 4 within DRS, and then there's a bit of a gap. 4.3 seconds next to the next bunch of drivers. Then when you get to, who is the driver in P5? Bio? What? I can't read it.
Bloomsy.
Bloomsy. Bloomsy's in P5 and then he's got a DRS train behind him.
Pass Lacey on the outside into turn 9. Yellow flags out. Safety car deployed. Who's this? Kevin spun. Kevin's made a mistake. No front wing on that McLaren. A man who's fighting for the lead of the race has been involved in a collision. That's an incident out of turns 9 and 10 chicane as Berry gets another drive through for speeding under safety car. 2 in this race. But Kevin, that wasn't an incident out of that turns 9 and 10 chicane. That must have been contact down the main straight for him to have gone that far before losing his front wing.
Massive damage on that
Now
front
we will
wing.
see people diving.
And now the
on to
race,
different tyres. Beefy stays out.
the race is gonna swing again. Beefy, he's decided to do something different. He's gonna hold on to track position. He'll be in the lead of the race at the restart, but 11 lap old hogs.
Wheeze has wriggled his way up to P7. And as well to mention, Jacob and that are not going to run away out front, because look to P1. Mr. Beefy Boy on 11 lap old hard tyres has stayed, as has Kyrano, the only two drivers. And well, Berry's pitting out. He will have to serve a drive through, so count him out of the mix for now. But this race is yet again been turned on its head by yet another safety car.
We've had two virtuals, right? I think we had two virtuals and two
one
full.
virtual, two full, I think.
One virtual, two full.
Oh,
First
yes,
virtual
one
came
virtual,
very,
two full, I
very
think.
early on. It was lap
Oh,
2.
contact! Lazy's just lost his left end. Lacy just hit the back of Bloomsy and lost his left end plate. And Ferrari's going to need to pit again. So that's going to bring you out behind Will. What on earth? How has that happened? I've just gone on board with Lazy as that's happening. And backing off was Bloomsy ahead as he caught the train. Lazy unsighted just clipped the back of him.
Hopefully no damage. Doesn't seem like having any damage on that Ferrari. Now the leader, when this race does restart, is going to have a bit of a disadvantage. It's going to be the only driver on track on a set of hard tyres. And they're not even a new set of hard tyres. They're going to have 12 laps on them. 4 drivers behind him, all on a brand new set of mediums, and then Lazy, brand new set of softs.
Indeed, but Lazy's got damage. So that he might actually become a leader of a train here. We just want to get past him very quickly. But just a couple things in the chat. Matt saying that he got unlucky with Kevin in front of him, but he had to go and Tito Isano was having a meltdown at the time. Fair enough. Good that you got your priorities straight. It may be a damn racing news, but well, the little ones always get priority, and always at the worst times they tend to kick off. But as well on Kevin's incident, he said he didn't know which way that Jacob was going and clipped the rear of him, and it absolutely sent Kevin into oblivion. So doesn't sound like there's going to be an incident report put out for that. Means there's work to do for McLaren, a safety car in this lap. A late call.
Just remember that.
Safety car in this lap. Normally it happens.
Just remember that
far
the
early.
leader there, he's got 6 seconds next to his name. So he's only the leader by the timesheets. The leader on the track, not in the
He's not going to be the
timesheets.
leader by the time sheet. No, he's not going to be the leader on track for long because he's got 11 lap older, one step harder compound tyres than the 4 cars behind him, let alone Lazy on the soft despite the wing damage. But here we go then. Beefy gets us running, and Jacob is already looking to get past him, because if Jacob can pass Beefy and the rest can't, that's the
side by
factor giving
side with
yourself
him.
back up to the lead. Jacob 3 seconds. Jacob's got a 3-second time penalty. Josh might get a safe win here because Ollie's got himself a time penalty at the same corner. And now what was a fight for his first podium in the league is now swiftly becoming a fight for his first win in the league. And so far only the top 3 have made it past Beefy.
Ollie picks up a
Ollie
10-second
gets
penalty. Corner cutting gained 1 position. That's not a penalty you see very often. But
Legal overtake that would have been on Beefy at turn 1.
and look at this,
But
Sauber.
I think Beefy was... As here comes Josh to the lead. He wants this. He knows he can have it. We saw Spoonie get his first win in Division 2 in over 530 days, 539 to be precise. Yes, I did have to Google that, I'm not a genius. But we could see Josh get his first win full stop here in HRA Division 1. A tall task considering how competitive this field has been this season. And will he rob Jacob of yet another win and force him into yet another second? Or will it be lower than second for once for Jacob? Because Kevin is up to fourth here. Don't count Kevin out for the race win. Because them softs, they made the grade quickly, but they are going to be very pacey for the next couple laps. It is all to play for here.
Top two have sort of left the field behind them. Ooh, Weeze has left the session. He's had enough. That's nothing to watch.
Cars in the pits
Jacob
as well. Weeze out.
Josh.
Second in the championship is out.
Of course, Josh would love to win this on the racetrack, but if he can't win it on the racetrack, well, he just needs to stay within that 3 seconds.
Gotta be careful here, because Jacob's got past him and used the DRS to fly off into the distance. This is why you don't pass your rival here and you just sit behind them, because now he's broke DRS.
Now
Jacob is on a mission here.
Now he's broken DRS. Of course, when you're in DRS, if that opponent of yours is 3 or 4 tenths faster a lap, the DRS cancels it out. The moment he's out of that 1 second barrier, he's 3 or 4 tenths faster a lap. Well, he's just going to disappear down the road. You're going to have to dig deeper if you're going to get back within a second.
It's time to hot lap for these two. Big snap of oversteer for Josh. Holds it, but he's losing out. It is teetering on the edge of that second. It all comes down to how hard he pushes here. He pushed hard, but Jacob pushed harder. 2 tenths he gained in 1 corner.
1.3. Gap not going the right way if you're the Sauber driver. Josh, want to reel this in. Just needs to stay as close to that Alpine as possible. Doesn't need to worry too much about the driver behind him. He's got penalties of his own to worry about. Just needs to worry about that 1.5 second gap and make sure it doesn't get any larger than that. Once it gets into the twos.
The point though is Josh could work with Ollie here. That may be his best option, because Ollie isn't in Josh's race. But if Ollie wants to pass Jacob here effectively. He knows Josh isn't his race. So if these two work together to get their goal of getting back up to Josh, then Josh can just watch these two fight and won't have a worry in the world. But that's it if they fight. As well to point out, I've just seen Ollie deploy an F1 Esports trick of having to split down and up a gear very quickly on the straights, just to, as non-ERS mode doesn't actually stop using ERS at full throttle until you do that. Big snap for Josh. He's losing out massively at that corner. Does he defend here from Ollie? Does technically, does make it a little bit harder. But now he can hopefully use the DRS on these next few straights from Ollie to try and claw back to Jacob. It's all in the balance right now.
Kevin still looking to make up positions in the late stages of the race. He's currently in P5 on a set of softs. No penalties next to his name. But he can really only realistically make it to 1 position. That's the Red Bull in front of him. Top 3. He's gone a little too far down the road. Let's just have a look quickly at the penalties one more time. And Ollie, well, we're looking at Ollie in P2, but he's got 13 seconds next to his name.
Yeah, I think Ollie's going to try and get something removed in as Berry's had a half spin at the exit of the 9-10 chicane. A torrid day for Berry. 2 drive-through penalties, 38 seconds off the back of the field, and 9 seconds of penalties to his name. One to forget, but if he finishes the race, it's still 2 points on the board for Alpine, as Josh using the DRS now to good effect. Repasses Ollie and will have another straight DRS usage. Smart from Josh, doing exactly as I suggested he should. Well, not saying he heard me, but that has gained him 6 tenths on the net in the last 2 laps to Jacob just by using that strategy.
1.4 seconds.
Win this game.
Question: who won last week?
3
Was it-
second places.
I've got a question here. Didn't Josh win last week? I have no idea. This is my
not
first
coming
visit
up
to
with
HRA.
anything. Not coming up with anything for him on my points. He might have won last week. Because he's a Mortals F1, I believe. Yes, he did win last week. Yeah, my apologies. Reason for me getting that wrong is because he's listed as a Mortals F1 on the driver standings, but it's saying he's got no points. So that's an admin error.
Still J and J.
Yeah,
Jacob from Josh. Jacob crucially has that penalty. So provisionally, Josh in a very, very good position. Just doesn't want to drop this at this stage.
Never mind. First wins then. It's going to be the chance of the first back-to-back win this season, and a second race in a row of denying Jacob that first place.
It's not a bad way to have your first win. Back it up the very next week.
Indeed. Let's have a look at round 1 results. Josh didn't attend round 1, but he won round 2. So he'll be technically going for a 100% win record in HRA. It's going to be difficult. Will gets a penalty. And McLaren fighting with Masquerade. Jacob gets another time penalty. Doesn't really affect the race result.
Josh just
Maybe
had to
Bloomsy
worry about
can
that
get
3
up.
seconds. Well, now it's pretty much confirmed. The only way it could change if somebody seriously dropped the ball. Just 1.2, 29 of 29. This is almost over.
I think Kevin gets a penalty as well. Now keep an eye on Bloomsy, because he is listed as 6 seconds off the lead for me here. And 6 seconds of penalties for Jacob. Bloomsy rounding the final corner is Jacob to take the win on track. Josh will get it. Back-to-back wins and back-to-back races for Josh. But will Bloomsy bag second place here on track?
Third place.
It's incredibly close. Doesn't quite. But
Very
Josh
close. I think that was
getting
500ths of a second.
Indeed.
Just
I've got a
500ths of a second.
0.064 on my screen.
600ths
That
of a
is
second.
ridiculous.
I was close enough.
Poor Bloomsy in third. Gets his first podium of the season though, Bloomsy. Josh gets driver of the day. I'd agree. What a drive from him on the wet setup. For who is known as Immortals in the standing. Apologies for my mistakes throughout the race, saying it's his first win. It wasn't listed on the standing, so we'll get that sorted and get them added. So that is 2 races in HRA and 2 wins for the Sauber. Mighty performance. But somehow, yet again, it is the 3-peat for Josh of second places. But he will leave here as championship leader yet again.
Then those final results. Okay, now I know where the sound's coming from. It's coming out of my controller. The final results, Josh, Jacob. You can go through these names a lot better than I can.
Bloomsy rounding out the podium. Fastest lap for Jacob as well. Gets another point. So he's up to 61 points in the championship. And I believe Josh is up to 50. So 11 points in it for them two. my game's completely bugged out, so I'm gonna have to pause your stream. And Tronzik 4th, Halliday 5th, Den Horn, solid result for him in 6th. Kevin gets 7th, Lazy 8th, Ollie 9th. After that 10-second, Beefy 10th, Kyrano 11th, Masquerade 12th, Will in 14th, Berry 13th, and Berry 14th, with the rest all DNFing, including our second in the championship, Wheeze. Not his day, but he said in the Discord chat that he's just going to look to bounce back next time out, and indeed, he will. Wow.
So
What
that
a
is,
race that blew by. Australia just blows by so quick.
it happened last night as well. Last night it just went by so quickly, and tonight, well, here we are. It's over. It's the end of Division 1. For the first time here on NFR, we had HRA. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Of course, a lot of the names in the comment section they've been here many times before, so I hope you enjoyed the new league. If you're from the new league and you're here for the first time, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the commentary. And if you did, well, maybe HRA can organize this a few more times in the future. But Apollo, do you want to say your goodbyes to the viewers?
Wow, what are 2 races in HRA, back-to-back wins as well. That's the first time this season. Really sort of changed the championship massively. It means that we've now got Wheeze is sort of a little bit more out of the fight than he was, and it now sort of puts Josh and Jacob, the newcomers, on the front foot in the fight. It's only round 3, but it's looking like a really good season. And yeah, I'd love to have it back. I'd love to maybe make an appearance or 2 in NFR at some point, if that could be arranged. But
Yeah, we can
it's
bring
been
you
a
on.
pleasure having someone for the first time in HRA, having someone else other than me in the comms box, or well, with me, has been quite refreshing.
Obviously, we have a bit of a time difference between us. So when I
That's the problem, yeah.
I join the British leagues, well, I just commentate 2 hours later than I usually would. But for you to commentate on the South African leagues, well, you'd have to be home 2 hours earlier than usual. So maybe on a Sunday, SKR, we do SKR at 6 p.m. in the afternoon, so that would be 4 p.m. for you. And yeah, you will see the likes of Wheeze and It's Free, and we have a few that are just as quick as them. They're not here tonight. So yeah, we'd love to have you on NFR again, and next time HRA want a guest commentator, you know how to contact me.
Of course.
And then to all the viewers, one more time, thank you very much for joining. If it's your first visit to the channel, remember to like and subscribe on the video. It's all appreciated. And until you hear from me again, cheers.
Bye-bye.
Feel the power at NFR. Burning tracks, driving far. Where the races never end. NFR, only friend. Like Fernando calls the play on NFR every race day. Commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR. Burning tracks, driving far. Where the races never end. NFR, only friend. Not Fernando calls the play on NFR at race day. Commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR. Burning tracks, driving far. Where the races never end. NFR, only friend. Deaf Queen, the top supporter scene. In the crowd where speed is keen. NFR, the place to be. Join the race, watch and see.
chasing dreams under pressure, lost in the crowd. Corner two shots spun out wide and free. Championship slipped like sand into the sea. On the chicane, caught him slow on the twist. A second's hesitation, victory missed. Green spot, he slid off the track. Fans gasping as the sky turned black. Pressure breakdown, Lando running wild. Back speeds by with the champion smile. Mistakes piling up, dreams in the rear. Pressure breakdown, drowning the fear. Pressure breakdown, Lando running wild. Max speeds by with the champion smile. Mistakes piling up, dreams in the rear. Pressure breakdown, drowning the fear. Not there. Mechanics fumbling in the pit lane's glare. Leaderboard slipping like oil on the floor. Lando's hopes falling, can't take anymore. Max takes the lead with a grin so bright. Lando's in shadows, can't find the light. Wheel to wheel, but he's losing grip. Champions rise as dreams start to slip. One last race, the engines scream, hoping for a miracle, grasping at the dream. Final lap and there's no more to give. Lessons in the losses, that's how we live. Pressure breakdown and a running wild. Max speeds by with the champion smile. Mistakes piling up, dreams in the rear. Pressure breakdown, drowning the fear. Pressure breakdown, Lando running wild. Max speeds by with the champion smile. Mistakes piling up, dreams in the rear. Pressure breakdown, drowning the fear. Pressure breakdown, drowning the fear. Pressure breakdown, drowning the fear.
Feel the speed, the thrill, high octane drama can't get off fill. Engines roaring loud, heartbeats on the rise. On NFR, see the sparks in our eyes. Racing through the night, chasing every turn. On NFR, adrenaline we burn. Pit stops and fast cars, it's a wild ride. NFR, in our veins we can't hide. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. Yeah. Every lap a story, every driver's dream. On NFR, racing's the supreme. Checkered flags waving, champions arise. NFR brings the glory to our eyes. NFR, where the legends are born. Speeding past the limits, engines reborn. In the fast lane, every second counts. NFR, the thrill always mounts. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. NFR with the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR's lane, every second counts. NFR, the thrill always mounts. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. You move to NFR, feel the speed, the speed.
me spin you a tale about a race car driver, George Russell by name. He's quick on the track, but don't get too excited, cause when it comes to greatness, well, he's not quite knighted. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. He's got the helmet, he's got the car, but when it comes to win, he's not quite up to par. He's got the look like Woody with a cowboy hat, but when he's in the pit, you'll see him shed a tear stack. Now don't get me wrong, he's got some skill, but when you're talking about the best, he's not in that mill. He'll race you hard, give you quite the fright, but in the end, he's more known for his tears at night. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. So here's to George, with his heart on his sleeve. In the world of Formula One, he's got a lot to achieve. He might not be the champ, but he sure is fun. So let's give a cheer for George, our Woody on the run. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. So here's to George, with his heart on his sleeve. In the world of Formula One, he's got a lot to achieve. He might not be the champ, but he sure is fun. So let's give a cheer for George, our Woody on the run.
It's time to go. Feel the speed, let it flow. Racing hearts, watch them glow. Turn it up, start the show. NFR, feel the heat. Fast and fierce, never beats. Engines roar, can't stay off seats. Catch the thrill, it's so sweet. Drama high, stars afar, round the track like a shooting star. Feel the rush, NFR. Lap by lap, watch them spin. Victory's close, who will win? In our heads, the engine's din. NFR, let's begin. NFR, lights are green. Zooming fast, slick machine. Every twist, every scene. Catch the action on your screen. NFR, NFR, yeah. Drama high, stars afar, round the track like a shooting star. Feel the rush, NFR. Lap by lap, watch them spin. Victory's close, who will win? In our heads, the engine's din.
In the quiet lanes of Silverstone town, folks are whispering about a boy falling down. Got a seat from his daddy, money's the king. Driving that Williams ain't like riding free. Tires spin, engines roar, but the podium's far. His wheels hit the gravel, now there's damage to the car. Got the world at his feet, yet he fumbles the lead. His dreams race away, but he's not in the speed. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name that can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Now he's got his own team with a famous name. Aston Martin's the brand, but it's still the same shame. Every corner, every turn, the crashes unfold. Dreams wrapped in carbon fiber, truth left untold. Paddock folks shake their heads with a sigh as the green car spins and the hopes run dry. No matter the funds, it's a harsh game of pain. $1 million toys can't shelter the rain. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name but can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name but can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Like a shooting star, the engines roar, the tires scream, fast as lightning, it's the dream. Speed and drama, every turn on NFR, the rubber burns. Feel the thrill of every bend, where the champions transcend. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR calls to play on NFR every race day. Commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, holy friend. Not Fernando calls to play on NFR race day. Commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR, burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, holy friend. Deaf queen, the top support to see in the crowd where speed is keen. NFR, the place to be. Join the race, watch and see. Lando in the cockpit, heartbeats loud. chasing dreams under pressure, lost in the crowd. Corner two shots spun out wide and free. Championship slipped like sand into the sea. Onto chicane, caught him slow on the twist. A second's hesitation, victory missed. Green spot, he slid off the track. Fans gasping as the sky turned black. Pressure breakdown, Lando running wild. Back speeds by with the champion smile. Mistakes piling up, dreams in the rear. Pressure breakdown, drowning the fear. Pressure breakdown, Lando running wild. Max speeds by with the champion smile. Mistakes piling up, dreams in the rear. Pressure breakdown, drowning the fear. Mechanics fumbling in the pit lane's glare. Leaderboard slipping like oil on the floor. Lando's hopes falling, can't take anymore. Max takes the lead with a grin so bright. Lando's in shadows, can't find the light. Wheel to wheel, but he's losing grip. Champions rise as dreams start to slip. One last race, the engines scream, hoping for a miracle, grasping at the dream. Final lap and there's no more to give. Lessons in the losses, that's how we live. Pressure breakdown and a running wild. Max speeds by with the champion smile. Mistakes piling up, dreams in the rear. Pressure breakdown, drowning the fear. Pressure breakdown, Lando running wild. Max speeds by with the champion smile. Mistakes piling up, dreams in the rear. Pressure breakdown, drowning the fear. Pressure breakdown, drowning the fear. Pressure breakdown, drowning the fear.
Feel the speed, the thrill, high octane drama can't get off fill. Engines roaring loud, heartbeats on the rise. On NFR, see the sparks in our eyes. Racing through the night, chasing every turn. On NFR, adrenaline we burn. Pit stops and fast cars, it's a wild ride. NFR, in our veins we can't hide. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. Every lap a story, every driver's dream. On NFR, racing's the supreme. Checker flags waving, champions arise. NFR brings the glory to our eyes. NFR, where the legends are born. Speeding past the limits, engines reborn. In the fast lane, every second counts. NFR, the thrill always mounts. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. NFR with the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR's lane, every second counts. NFR, the thrill always mounts. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. You move to NFR, feel the speed, the speed.
tale about a race car driver, George Russell by name. He's quick on the track, but don't get too excited, cause when it comes to greatness, well, he's not quite knighted. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. He's got the helmet, he's got the car, but when it comes to win, he's not quite up to par. He's got the look like Woody with a cowboy hat, but when he's in the pit, you'll see him shed a tear stack. Now don't get me wrong, he's got some skill, but when you're talking about the best, he's not in that mill. He'll race you hard, give you quite the fright, but in the end, he's more known for his tears at night. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. So here's to George, with his heart on his sleeve. In the world of Formula One, he's got a lot to achieve. He might not be the champ, but he sure is fun. So let's give a cheer for George, our Woody on the run. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. So here's to George, with his heart on his sleeve. In the world of Formula One, he's got a lot to achieve. He might not be the champ, but he sure is fun. So let's give a cheer for George, our Woody on the run.